Hey guys, Exodus here, and today I'll be going over the new hero, Zul the Necromancer.
Forward unto darkness.
I'll start off by explaining each of his abilities, then we'll go over his talents, and finally I will share my first impressions of the hero based on talents and skills alone. First up, Zul's Q ability, Spectral Scythe. It summons a scythe at the target location that travels towards you after a 1-second delay, damaging enemies in the path. His W, Curse Strikes, makes your basic attacks over the next 4 seconds deal damage in a wide area and reduce the attack speed of enemies hit by 50% for 2 seconds. For E we have Bone Prison, which after a 2-second delay roots the target enemy in place for 2 seconds. Zul is unique in the fact that he starts with another ability on the 1 key. Bone Armor gives him a shield equal to 25% of his maximum health for 3 seconds. His trait is Raised Skeleton, which creates a skeletal warrior whenever a nearby enemy minion dies. Only a maximum of 4 of these can be active at any given time, and they last for 15 seconds. And finally, we have Zul's heroic abilities, which are Poison Nova and Skeletal Mages. Poison Nova fires missiles that deal massive poison damage over 10 seconds to all enemies that are hit. Skeletal Mages spawn a line of, skeletal mages that deal damage and slow nearby enemies for 30%. They also last for 15 seconds and they can be killed. Now for his talents, I would go over all of them individually, but there are quite a few of them. So I'll put each tier on the screen now so you can see them, and then I'll touch on which ones I think look good to me in the final portion of this video. So here are my first impressions of Zul based on talent, skills, and my small amount of playtime with him. My opinions here are subject to change with time. So first I'll start by saying that he's very useful and his talents are quite diverse while maintaining viability. For the first tier you choose from 3 variations of his bone armor. My personal favorite here is Shade, which grants you evasion from basic attacks for the duration of Bone Shield. Though I think the other 2 options here have their uses, I feel this one is generally the most useful. At level 4, I tend to take Jailers. It adds a bit to your pushing power and it gives you a bit more sustain if you take Rathma's Blessing in the next tier. My second choice in this tier is Trag'Oul's Essence, as the mana sustain can be quite useful if you want to be able to spam your abilities a little bit more. Level 7 is a great tier in my opinion. I like all 3 talents here, but I tend to take Rathma's Blessing, as I mentioned previously. The sustain you get from it allows you to stay in lane almost indefinitely. Harvest Vitality is better when you need a bit of sustain in team fights. Maps like Battlefield of Eternity consist of lots of team fights where you may not be able to take full advantage of Rathma's. Weaken is amazing when you're facing enemies such as Raynor or Illidan, who rely heavily on attack speed. For level 13, I find Decrepify to be the most useful overall, as the slow brings a great deal of utility, but Corpse Explosion is amazing for pushing and it scales decently into late game. Giant's Curse synergizes well with Harvest Vitality because it makes using Curse Strikes more worth it to get that sustain. The increased damage can also boost your presence in a team fight. At level 16, we have what I like to call the Icing tier. These talents all seem to complement whatever cake you've built at this point. For example, if you decided to build up your skeletal warriors for pushing, Skeleton Mastery makes that build just a little bit more powerful. If you've gone a more utility-centered build, Amplify Damage syncs up well as it provides your team with a 25% damage boost. In my opinion, Zul's level 20 talents aren't that great. Bone Spear is nice if you want a bit more damage, and it's probably the most generally useful talent here. Mortal Wound is extremely effective at countering late game healers such as Morales, and things like Rhaegar's ultimate, so keep that in mind. The upgrades for his heroic abilities are underwhelming to me. I feel that taking Bone Spear will give you a higher DPS overall in the end. Spectral Scythe can be cast without interrupting your attack animation, so don't be afraid to use it during Cursed Strikes. Skeletal Mages are extremely effective at zoning enemies and discouraging them from advancing on your team. Here's a few examples. Poison Nova missiles can be dodged quite easily at the end of their range, so be sure to use them when you're sure that enemies will be hit. Position yourself to cover as many minions as possible with a wide arc of Cursed Strikes. I hope this video has helped you in some way, and if you enjoyed it, be sure to click that thumbs up button, and please share it with a friend. Subscribe for more Heroes of the Storm content, and use the links in the description to find me on Twitch and Facebook. Thanks for watching, guys. Exodus out.